Welcome back. We've got the T6 on the dyno. It's time to show you what it actually does on the dyno. So obviously go through it, run it up, see what we can do, and show you just how simple it is to tune one of these yourself. So let's get to it. So we're on the dyno now, and well, first of all, I don't have a traction control button in this van. So I've got to go into VADCOM and just turn that off. So if I open up VADCOM, go to select control module, ABS brakes, basic settings, go to roller test bench mode, press go, that'll switch that off. So now I've got the traction light on and the ESC or traction control is now off. So I'm going to go back out of that, go into engine, fault codes, start a relay, don't worry about that. Me just, and then you've got advanced settings. So I want to load selection from file. I'm sure I've done this before and saved it, probably have done. 2 litre logs. So I'm going to go switch over to the 2 litre logs. Have I got enough there? No, I haven't saved a lot on that one. Engine speed, coolant temp, charge pressure specified, so I want charge actual. Clear that. Charge actual, air mass actual, intake air temp, limitation small spoke, and I need another one, accelerator pedal. And then I'm also going to have exhaust gas temp sensor 1. Just keep an eye on the EGT temperatures. So that is that. Now I'm going to save that because obviously I didn't save it before. So I'm going to go down to 2 litre D, logs, and that overwrite. Yep. So that's always there when you want to pick it up again. You don't have to keep finding them and choosing them and etc. So I'm going to go to log. I'm going to go to T6 stock run 1. So it's going to get it in gear on the dyno. Set the dyno up to the van. So switch to 2-wheel drive mode, just for this purposes of this. If I go to vehicle data, front wheel drive, just to play up a bit, accept, unlock, back to measure power, continuous measurement. Normally run these 4-wheel drive, for some reason it doesn't like it today, so I'm just going to run it 2-wheel drive with the SPL. So get it back in. Better. Bit funny down low still. Right, set 3000, 3000. That's set. Come to a stop. That'll switch over, open up your logs, start. So I want to go in gear 4, this is a 5-gear van, not the best vans but it'll be alright. Load it up, 3, into 4, right now run. Let the round run. It's quite a warm day. As you can see, the intake temp's getting quite hot, and so is the EGT. 4.5. Should be about enough. So let it run down, measure the losses. Stop the logs. Done close. And there we'll save. So if I look in now into the logs, open log file, T6 stock run. Right, so there you go, we have the run. It's quite a long run, got the ramp quite low. So as you can see, EGT was at 747, not too bad. Limitation accelerator pedal was 420 newton meters dropping. Yes, 420 down, it drops down. And then we've got the limitation of smoke, it's a little bit less at 391, 385, and then we've got the limitation of torque. So straight away you can see that's going to be my limitation, because when the ECU is doing the torque, it looks between all three graphs, so all three charts. So you got right, I'm requesting this much, the smoke saying this much, and the torque saying this much. So the lowest of those three will be the one that it actually does, and in this case it's going to be the limitation of torque. So our air mass is quite good still. Charge air pressure 1.4 bar peak. You can kind of forget the peak, look more towards the hold, slight overboost. So it's 1.3 bar, 1.245, 1.1. So you take away the atmospheric pressure, so it says 2.1 but it's 1.1 depending on the atmospheric pressures today. Charge specified is, if I can get on it, 1.2 bar, so fairly low. Now the actual van ran at 116 HP, about 208 foot-pound, obviously a bit of spike, so you can kind of like, when you're looking at these graphs and tuning and things like that, you want to be looking at the overall power. So even if it spikes to that, yeah right, it was 208.7 foot-pound for like, what, 100 RPM, you ain't going to feel that. That's pretty much pointless even putting it into the thing really. So you're looking at 200 foot-pound peak, drops down to 100 foot-pound at the top end, so pretty slow for a van. So the next thing we're going to look at is how to tune this quite easily just by looking at what we're doing. So it's obviously a stock van. I pulled the file off, loaded it into WinOLS. Here it is. So from the logs we know that driver's wish, or we was nowhere near. So let's have a look through. I went through these in a previous video if you want to look how to build the file and things like that. So we've got driver's wish. Anyway, quite big maps. Anytime today, correction maps. Then we've got, here we go. So we've got driver's wish maps. As we've seen, 420 foot-pound. So yeah, about there. 2k then tapers off. So all above 300 foot-pound. As we know, 300 foot-pound was our limit in our torque map. So as we're going through, we can already, you know, pump these up above 300 foot-pound. Just to, should have to come back to it. So all these maps are geared. Just pump these up above the 300 foot-pound mark. Foot-pound, 300 newton meters. Ignore me saying foot-pound, it's just how I work. So 300 newton meter mark. Move all these off. It's always awkward working on a laptop when you're used to using a mouse on the screen. Difference between Dyno and sat on the computer. So it's like a 4x4 map. Just gonna bump it up anyway. Let's get them all above 300 newton meters. Right, so right, that's that done. So next, so that's the driver's wish now above 300 newton meters. So we should be away from that limit now. In fact, we'll look into it actually. I think I'm going to need more. We'll come back to those. So next things we know. So we've got the torque maps. So now we know that these are limited us to 300 newton meters. As you can see, it's what, 292, and backs off. So they're very low. Now what I do is I look at the torque conversion maps. There's two maps, major boost maps here. So you've got these two maps here. Now these are calculated to tell the ECU what kind of fuel it can use. And this top line here is newton meters. I'm only here. So 300 newton meters on the logs. If we look back at the logs, our highest value was 300 newton meters, which was the torque map. Well, so the lowest was 300 newton meters, which was the torque map. So that's the map that this car or van is going to use. So you've got 297 peak. So I'm only on this line here. I know that I can move to here and still be covered by how the ECU is already set. So when the manufacturer modules these vans out, they'll send them all out with the same spec, and they just send them out with different maps, and this is how they cap the maps. So if you look at your Newton-meter conversion maps, which is this one here, you can tell straight away that I'm very capped. I can move to 420 Newton-meter requests, just, you know, and still be within all the tolerances of how the OEM have set me up, really. So if I use this, then if I look, I'll show you. So if I go to the limit maps, so I've got these driver's wish maps here. Right, I've got 420 Newton meters, so I'll bump all these to 429, 429, 429, 429. So I'm above 420 Newton meters in these there. So just to make the power, let's get these up above. I'll press something else there. No, that'll be okay. Still above. So to get the power up, right, I've done them. So they're now out of the way. Let's deal with the Newton meters first, and then we'll go back to everything else after, and I'll show you what's going to happen when I run this van with just changing these few maps. So these are the torque maps. These were the lowest maps, if you remember, from the previous. So if we set this, so the peak on these vans is quite low, and it holds. If I get that dyno graph up, the peak's around to. It started to run quite late. Being a diesel, it should be around here. It started to run quite late, so around 2k, 2.2k is where it starts to really start ticking off. So if we go here, bump that up, and just blend it in for the rest, just to give it a smooth transition. Obviously I'm not going to see these two lines, I probably won't even see the third line, so I'm just going to move those off. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the bottom line, so 870 atmospheric, being in the UK is about right. So I'm just going to load this in on all the maps for the purposes of this video. So my lowest map is now at 420 Newton meters. There is a limit here somewhere, I think it's that one there, which is also at 4,000. So I'm just going to bump this limit up to 4,200, just to make sure I'm not capped by anything. So bump that up. Okay, so now my torque limits are at 420 Newton meters. So there's one left, which is a smoke map. So we need to go back to our Newton meter conversion table, which is here somewhere, and let's see where we are with this. So if we go back to our Newton meter conversion table, we're at 420 Newton meters. Now we're going to be at 65 milligrams of fuel. So straight away we're going to move into a higher level of fuel. So if we look into our smoke map, it's at the end here, we're going to have 65 milligrams of fuel. Now I'm going to be around here now, so anywhere between there to there, 65 milligrams is there, so I've still got enough there to cope with it, so that's fine. I'm up to 1.6 bar as well, boost pressure I can have, so I don't really think we're going to touch that. So let's look at the boost tables. So these three are the biggest. So this is boost. So if I switch this to, if I call this boost request, and then I switch it to bar, to make it more sense. Top line is milligrams of fuel. So we've got RPM at the side, obviously done wrong on there. So if I go 0.25, 0.25, no, 0.5, yeah. So I've got 0.5, so I've got RPM, I've got boost in the middle, minus atmospheric pressure, and I've got milligrams of fuel at the top. Now, when I was on the old table, if I go back to that Newton meter request table, just gone past it, if I go back to here, before, at 300 Newton meters, I'd have been running around 45 milligrams of fuel. So I'd have been running around here, on this line, so at 1.2 bar. If you remember, I was at 1.22 bar request. Now I've bumped it up to 65 milligrams because I'm on 420 Newton meters, because I've moved all the obviously the limits. I'm at 65. So now I should see, without me making any changes, I should see about 1.4 bar of boost. So I've raised the boost by 0.2 bar, or not, oh, sorry, 200 millibar, without making any changes to this boost table. That's if what I'm saying is true, that's what will happen. So the torque limit's gone, the driver switch is gone. So I'm just gonna now export this. Stage 1, 2, nope. Say YouTube. Export this in now. I'm going to write this to the van. Just get me switch the van off. Find C&D. It's on the floor somewhere. Here it is. I'll plug this in here. Right, I'm going to write that map onto this van. So that one there. So identify, yep. Right. Smash that on here. And then we'll see what we make just off those few changes. So all we've done while that's writing is I've changed 1, 2, sorry, I'll go back to the start. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've changed 12 maps. Just by looking at it, working it out, seeing what I've got, seeing what they've left me, see if there's any free power to be made without really changing how the OEM have set this van up. I've got 12 maps changed, and well, 2 groups. So let's just write this on now. I'll fast forward this bit just so you can get to the nitty-gritty stuff, which is going to be the next dyno session. Right then, so done. That felt like it took forever, but that was 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Right, so now van off. Hopefully it starts. Yeah, it started. Right, it seems to have flicked off the ESP again, so I'm going to have to set that back on. I'll just get all plugged in. Right, VACCOM. All plugged into VACCOM? Probably not. I think I am. So let's get back on this. So VACCOM, select module, ABS brakes, basic settings, switch to roller test bench mode. Go! Right, that's now on. back out there, back into engine. Fault codes, none, still, that's what we like. So we go back to advanced measurement values, back onto that same file we was on before. 2 litre logs. There we go. So back to the dyno. So I'm going to save that so you can see the between the two. So save T6 T6. Yeah. Fail. Stock. Run. That was a stock run. So I'm going to repeat. I'm going to load the stock run back over it, like so. Right, let's run it up again then. Let's get back into gear. Set this log off. So T6 tuned to run. Tuned as in I've moved what, a couple of tables. Run. Right then, so just moving these few tables. Let's see what she makes. So I'm going to start the log off. Fans on, dyno's on. Let's go. Back into gear. Back into fourth. There we go. Nope. Yeah, it played up a little bit then. I do sometimes. Let that run down, run it again, get it right gear. Rapid, right, repeat. Yes. Right, we go again. Let's bring it to a standstill. Going to stop and start the logs. Stop. Done close. Log. T6. Tune. Run. 2. You get this on dyno sometimes, as long as you don't keep doing it. Right. Get the right gear. Let it load up. There you go, 4th gear pull. Just going to stop the logs. You can have a look over those. New GT we on 487. Let that run down. Remember, this is just a 12 little maps have changed. 2 tables in a sense, really. And we are now at 158 horse, 265 foot-pound. So as you can see, it's very much changed the way the graph is. It's quite a hot day today. So there you go. Just moving these two tables gives you enough to get going. Now what's happened is, if I look at the logs, if we get that log back open, get rid of that, it's annoying. If we get this back open log file, the T6 tuned run. I'll look here, so from before, so we've got limitation torques now up to 420 newton meters, 420 newton meters on the smoke, 430 meters on the newton meters on the old pedal. Exhaust gas temp at 753, so pretty much where it was anyway. The boost is now at, remember it was at 1.2 bar before, now at 1.448 with a 1.336 bar request, so that's up So just by moving those few changes, those few tables, we've pumped the boost, we've pumped fuel, we've pumped everything that we need to pump to make some power. And that is the outcome. So we've gone from that little orange line there, that red line, to that red line there, so it actually goes faster in the gear too, and that blue line. I'm just going to run it again just to see if I can get a cleaner run, because I normally run quite clean. Let's reload, repeat. Just to see if I can get back in the right gear. It's a bit clumpy for some reason. Nah, that's it. We'll leave it like that. A little bit of a pain in the arse to run. So we made, what, a good 40 odd break. On a cold day, they normally run about 168 if you set them to them settings. But today we ran a 150, and so we gained 50 foot-pound and 50 HP just by moving those few tables. Now I generally just go in, tidy it up, maybe add a little bit more fuel pressure just to make it a smoother run with some torque. I'm done. So that is how to read a map, look into it properly, change a few tables, use what the OEM have give you, and tune it up. So that's me done for that one. That's me done with the van today. Pretty hot day. We made a good 50 HP and 50 foot-pound just by those two tables. Quite easy van to tune, and that pretty much goes across a lot of them with that module. You've got from the different engines, 2 litre engine, they've got about 4 different outputs, and that's pretty much how we set them up to obviously make the power that the bigger boys are supposed to be making. So a little bit more tuning, obviously smooth the graph out, things like that, but pretty much done. Power wise, you just really go into like, torque and smoothing the graph out when it comes to fuel pressure and things like that. So obviously if you liked the video, subscribe, follow, to all the usual stuff. So thanks for joining me at Mallory Performance. See you in the next one.